about defensively, though? What do you think with Akiem Hicks? Like, I am of the mind of that he's missed time, obviously, but I still think that he's so important. I think that he should be somebody that we try to re-sign. What do you think, and do you think it's even plausible?
Yeah, I love Akiem Hicks. I think a lot of most Bears fans do. Or all of them. I mean, he's incredible. And obviously last year he struggled with injuries, and he made it clear that he wanted to come back to and finish his career with the Bears, which hey, that's encouraging. And
Yeah, that's
it's
huge.
kind of on the lines as you hope that means that he would even take give like a hometown discount, because I think that's the concern, is that he's on the wrong side of 30, and he's had some injury struggles, and he would command a contract that's going to be higher than someone like, say, re-signing Bilal Nichols would be. So
Yeah.
I don't think it would be completely out of the question, because you kind of have to look at what are they going to do with Eddie Goldman this offseason, right?
Yeah.
If you were to cut him, you free up, or he has a cap hit of like 11.2 million this year, and you could free up around like 8 million in cap space if he's like a post June 1st cut. So if you kind of get part ways with Goldman there, obviously you have two positions you need to fill. And if it's a choice between bringing back Akiem Hicks and Bilal Nichols, it kind of reminds me of Danny Trevathan and Nick Kwiatkowski a couple years ago, right? When you had like kind of like the older versus the younger, more promising, prospect. And obviously Pace went with Trevathan, and that didn't end up working out. You probably should have gone with Kwiatkowski there. So,
Yeah.
it's interesting, because I don't think it's completely out of the question, but I think at this point, a lot of people have just kind of just expected that he's just not going to come back, that he's going to sign elsewhere. And, I would not be opposed to it. I think if he can stay healthy, as we've seen, he's been the heart and soul of that defense, and just an absolute monster up front. So, I would love to have him back, but again, he would have to come at a bit more affordable of a contract than maybe he would be looking for elsewhere.
Yeah, you know what? And I wouldn't fault him if he wants to take one last run at a Super Bowl ring. And but if he does want to come back, like, I'm certainly open to it. Eddie Goldman's very interesting too, because of the cap space that he frees up. Because the Bears have to sign so many players. Like, we don't have a lot of players under contract that it's like, oh wow, we got to find some bargain replacement guys. And Eddie Goldman's fine, like, he's a good player, but for the money that he could command and how much he could free up and allow us to go after some other positions and shore up. Eddie Goldman's the kind of guy that I expect to be cut, go to the Rams, and then win a Super Bowl again or something like that. Like, of course, yeah. Like watching Leonard Floyd. Like, that's one of the most frustrating things about this team is, like, you see guys like, oh yeah, like, you were close. Like, you kind of knew what you had in Cordell Patterson. You just couldn't quite do it. It's like playing Madden. You're like, I know what button I should be hitting, but I'm hitting X instead of B.